we are back from Scotland, and I got this awesome set of bagpipes. Are you ready? Ooh, this one scratches. Because I am the nicest cat owner in the world, I have brought my cat's turkey. They love it. Sliced turkey. They're all about it. Sliced turkey. All the way from Scotland. Vaughn's. They're from Vaughn's. They're from a grocery store. They're not from Scotland. Guys, what's up? We are so back. We are back in America. We're ready. We're doing the podcast again. As you guys saw on Instagram, I'm now part of a podcast network, Rogue Media, and they rule. They're so awesome. The whole team over there has been so welcoming, and they're so excited about the podcast, and they're like, we're going to help it suck less. And I'm like, thank God. They're like, get rid of the cats completely. Just get rid of the cats. No one likes them. No, that was actually my suggestion. I'm like, I think if we just get rid of the cats, and they're like, no, keep the cats. People like the cats. I'm like, all right. Okay. Interesting. But no, they're the coolest guys, and I cannot wait to see how they help me do stuff with this podcast. You guys have heard me complain 1,000 times about how I have this podcast and I love doing it, and then that's it. I film it, and my cats run away after I give them turkey. You're welcome. I film it, and I have a great time, and then I put it online, and that's about it. That's where I tap out. I'm like, I can't be bothered with anything else. The analytics, ew. Numbers, bar graphs, pie charts, no, not for me. Girl Kevin, did you miss me? I had to Google what a protractor was yesterday. That's how far removed from math I am. Just in general. Me and math, we don't get along. Never have, never will. Guys, I'm back. I went to Scotland. Let me tell you, it's my first episode back. It's episode 81, and I'm about to alienate a very small group of people. Just immediately right out the door. Hey, bagpipes, they're too loud. Bagpipes, you're too loud. Okay. I think everyone knows bagpipes. Like we get, the thing, it just looks like a big bladder with just it looks like some kind of deflated pillow with just a bunch of recorders sticking out of it, like from your, that instrument that you only play in middle school and then you never see one again ever.
I'm John Cena!
So that's what it is. It's a deflated pillow with recorders sticking out of it. And everyone knows what it is. Everyone's seen one. I'm sure we've all heard one in person, or at least we think we have. But let me tell you, it's so much louder than you're expecting. I'm just walking down the street in Scotland, and there's a guy in his kilt. He's all just dressed up, super Scottish-like, and he's got these bagpipes, and he's just like... And I'm like, oh my God. Dude, I hike 5 miles away, up onto a hill. I still hear it. I'm looking at Sean, I'm like, this is so loud. There needs to be a sound ordinance in Scotland for bagpipes. Incredible instrument, incredible musical talent just to be able to play the deflated pillow with the clarinet sticking out of it, or the recorders, whatever I said. Incredible talent just to do it, but it's too loud. It is so, and I'm not sure. Look, here's the deal. There's two bagpipe songs, right? The first one is the one we all know that's like, however it goes. It's something like that. Hold on. Just, I know I'm butchering it, but it's this one. Just anytime. Yep, this one. See, that's the one. See, I got there. I just said. So that's the one. And then the other one is Amazing Grace. Those are the 2 bagpipe songs. It's those 2. I'm so sorry to all bagpipes players. I think you're amazing. But funny story about that. We had one kid who knew how to play the bagpipes in my graduating class. I was homeschooled, but we still had like this in-person graduation from high school with the other homeschool kids. We all kind of came together. A lot of us meeting each other for the first time. Hi, I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you. I'm going to graduate with you today. Yay, we did it. Think of the memories that we will cherish forever. What was your name? That's what it's like to be homeschooled. So, our principal of this little umbrella school, she's an interesting character, and she had this idea in her head that we were gonna walk down the aisle in our gowns, caps and gowns, toward the stage to graduate to somebody playing bagpipes to the tune of Amazing Grace. Guys, we rehearsed it once and we're like, this is a funeral. We're being marched to the slaughter. We're just like, what? Are we supposed to be like entering a new chapter of our lives and not, I don't know, dying? It was so uncomfortable. And it was such an argument to not do it too. I think we just did it, right? Like nobody liked it, but she was so frustrating to deal with that we're just like, you know what? Just play. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just die because we'd rather die than have a confrontation with this crazy principal lady. So yeah, but those are the two songs. And even after that first part of the main one, that one, I'm not sure. I'm listening to this guy 5 miles away. I hear him 5 miles away. And I'm like, I don't think this is a song. I don't think that there was any planning going into these notes and which note was going to come next. It was just... And I'm like, Sean, this isn't a song. No, there's no way this is a song. I think that dude is just playing notes. And everyone's like, yes, this is traditional. I'm really in Scotland now. A man in a plaid skirt and a deflated pillow full of recorders is just playing notes so loud you can hear him from 5 miles away. This is Scotland. So anyway, I slay Scotland. And the reason I say that is because I went during my trip, and I'll kind of give you a little recap of the whole thing, but during my trip, the highlight of the whole thing was being on a tiny island off the west coast of Scotland called Islay. And they spell Islay I-S-L-A-Y. I-S-L-A-Y. Islay. For some reason, they pronounce that Islay. It's all good, not judging. They can do whatever they want. But the funny thing is that I guess this is not a very well-known island, unless you're a Scotch drinker. But I put, I was posting a couple pictures from there with the hashtag Islay Scotland. And my friend Kat was like, yes, you slay Scotland. Like, yeah, girl, you slay. I'm like, no. Suddenly I felt very pretentious that everyone in the comments was thinking I was like, I slay Scotland. I slay. So, first of all, I'd never say that ever in 1,000 years. Because it's stupid. There's some things that we need to retire for sure in our culture. We need to stop with the I slay. We need to stop with the I was today years old when. How about lives in my brain rent free? I hate all those things. Like we gotta be done with that. But yeah, I slay Scotland. No, it was Islay Scotland. Hashtag Islay Scotland. I was not being pretentious. I was not saying that I slay Scotland. But let's be honest, maybe I did. Maybe your girl did slay Scotland. Because I had a great, great time. Started out flying into Glasgow. And I had been to Glasgow once before when I was preggers. And me and Sean thought it was a great idea to travel to the Scotch capital of the world while pregnant. We thought that was a great idea. It's not like I like alcohol or anything. It's not like I try to have a drink every day of my life or anything. Not that I have a problem or anything. No, so we went all the way to Scotland. And my friend JD was here. So JD stayed at my house for a week while I was gone, and he messed with my board right here, and I decided to keep it because I love JD because he's my best. Oh, he was there that day for the marching to the slaughter for our graduation. He played guitar during the actual ceremony thing, and I've known him all these years, and he just moved to Vegas, and I'm so happy. My boy's here. My boy is here, except that he's not here because I was gone in Scotland when he moved here, and then I came back, and then he immediately left and went to go see his sister Emily have the most beautiful baby on planet Earth, baby. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be revealing this. Am I not supposed to reveal that? I'll bleep that part, maybe. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Just kidding. She didn't have a baby. She adopted a ferret. His sister adopted a ferret, and it's the cutest ferret of all time. And the ferret is just like perfect and healthy and beautiful and like, so gorgeous. And I could cry about this ferret. Anyway, JD lives here. I'm super happy. And he messed with my board. So anyway, he was on that first, JD was on that first Glasgow trip with us, and him and Sean just like discovered their love of Scotch, especially the really, really peaty Scotch, which tastes like you're drinking a campfire, embers and all, the wood and all. Like, it's like you just took an entire flaming campfire and stuck it in a ninja blender and then just poured it in a glass, sipped it, and you're like, this is excellent. That's peaty Scotch for you. And the peatiest of all Scotch is made in Islay, Scotland. So we first went to Glasgow and back. I'm so sorry. I'm bad at telling stories. You guys know this about me. So we went to Glasgow once before, and anytime after that trip, we told people we went to Scotland. They're like, where did you go in Scotland? And we're like, Glasgow. And they're like, oh, why? Because everyone's like, you should go to Edinburgh. You should go to Edinburgh. Two big cities in Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow, the two biggest cities. And we had only gone to Glasgow. Apparently, everyone goes to Edinburgh. And I never really understood why until I went to Edinburgh. And I'm like, oh, got it. Edinburgh is a fairy tale city. It looks like you're walking around in Fable 2, Fable 3, or Fable 4, if Peter Molyneux would just finally do that and make me that game. It's gorgeous, just cobblestone streets and architecture from a fairy tale, and just like a castle in the center of town. Everywhere you look, there's a overgrown cemetery or an old cathedral or some kind of monument from some dude named like Jeremy Scotland, and he like invented Scotland or something, you know? I didn't really read a lot of the plaques. I was drinking a lot of Tennent's at the time. It's a really great beer over there. 30 days of drinking Scotch and Tennent's beer and Guinness, it's just really not sustainable. And I've had to really adapt back to life on the mainland USA here, and maybe not drink Scotch every day and just get back into my routine of being healthy and drinking water and sit-ups and all the fun things. Look, I still love Glasgow. Like we had so much fun in Glasgow. We met up with our friend Maury, and just painted the town, drank too much, laughed too hard, walked way too far, miles. I think one day we did like 11 miles just walked the whole city. It's so funny to me to go to cities like this where there's like casinos, right? Coming from Vegas, I see casinos in other towns, and I'm like, you don't belong here. Go home. You're too far from home. Go home. What are you doing? Like, you belong in Vegas with the other casinos. Do they know you're gone? Do they know you're here? You need to go home. It's just weird. I feel like we should only have those here. It's weird to see them in other places. So after we were in Glasgow for a little bit, we were like, let's go to Islay. What an adventure that was. If you're a Parks and Rec fan, in I think the last season, Ron Swanson finally goes to Islay, his happy place, because he's a Lagavulin fan, which is the most well-known Scotch whiskey from Islay, because he promoted it on the show, and everyone's like, we like it too. We're all Lagavulin fans because Ron Swanson likes it.
Turns out, much to my surprise, there is actually one place in Europe that is worth seeing. These tiny islands off the coast of Scotland, where God's chosen elixirs are distilled, barreled, and prepared for consumption. This is worth the trip.
So we get on a bus, and the bus is like 3 hours, and then we get on a ferry, and the ferry is 2 hours. I'm telling you, it is hard to get to this place. It is so hard to get there. And you have to pre-book all of the taxis because it's such a small town. So we're calling, there's like 5 taxi drivers on the island. And 2 days before we get to the island, we're calling these taxi drivers. And 3 out of the 7 numbers they don't exist. They're just like, this number is not available. This number doesn't exist. They're like, cool. Finally, we talked to like one woman and she's like, when do you need me? We're like, Saturday. And she's like, I don't really want to work on Saturday. So I'm gonna have Nigel call you. And we're like, cool. They don't have Uber there. So the only way to get around the island is to book like the 2 guys who drive taxis or to get a bicycle. And the first day, we did get bicycles. And this was a huge personal achievement because I have not been on a bicycle in like 11 years. The last time I was on a bicycle, I was up at my mom and dad's farm in Idaho, and I was riding around the dirt, just the farmland, like after it had been farmed. I don't know any of the terminology. They rip it out of the ground, they sell it to people after it had been farmed. And I was just riding around in the dirt, just having the time of my life. Hit a rock, boom, flew over the handlebars, boom, hurt myself, scratched up my arm, and popped up just like, guess I'm done with bikes. Don't need them. I decided in that day in my 20s, I'm like, I don't need bikes anymore. I don't need to do this. I'm not a child. Children need to learn how to ride a bike. Just that's a rite of passage. You got to learn how to do it. You got to learn how to swim. You got to learn how to ride a bike. And you got to learn how to play Mario Kart. Those are like the 3 things you need to do as a child in order to be considered a child. Those are like the 3 requirements. But in my 20s, I'm like, I don't need to ride a bike. I don't need to do this. It was such a similar thing with sandwiches with me. About like 10 years ago, I just had like a bad sandwich. And it was after a series of bad sandwiches. And I kind of just said, I think I'm just done with sandwiches. I think I'm done with these. Just haven't had a good sandwich in a while. I like to die on really weird hills. It keeps my life exciting. So we get to Islay, and it's our first day, and we get our bicycles. And Sean's like, here we go. Let's get on the bike. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, well, why are you standing next to the bike? I'm like, yep. He's like, you're not getting on the bike. I'm like, yeah, let's bike. And he's like, you have to first get on the bike. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, well, how are you going to ride the bike? I'm just going to push it. I'm going to push it the whole way. You're going to push it 20 miles? Yeah, maybe I am going to push it 20 miles, Sean. What are you saying? I can't ride a bike? I didn't say that. You're just screaming a lie. Okay, fine. I can't ride a bike. And then I just start sobbing. And they're still talking about it on that island to this day because 40 people live there. Yeah, super small island. There's a beautiful bike path that goes from distillery to distillery. Like I said, Islay is where the peatiest scotch in the world is made because they got the really peaty soil there. They got amazing water. They got the coastal air, like all the things that go into making a perfect scotch. They have access to all of that on that island. And so you have distilleries like Ardbeg and Lagavulin and Laphroaig and Bruichladdich and Caolila and what else? Killoman, just, all those crazy words that have just like so many letters in it. Like Bruichladdich has 24 letters in it, I swear. It's just Bruichladdich. Bruichladdich. There's so many. It has so many letters. Too many letters. And yeah, so we rode our bike to Ardbeg and had this incredible tour. It was the first tour of the whole trip. And it was supposed to be something called a whiskey wander, where we would wander around the outdoor area of Ardbeg, and our tour guide would be like, here's where we get the water, and here's, just shows us all the things. And we show up, and part of the tour that we booked, we were supposed to have a meal at the restaurant there. And we show up, and our beautiful, amazing, wonderful tour guide, I love her. She was like, I think Emma is her name? Emma. She's amazing. She was like, hey, actually the restaurant isn't open today, so I just went ahead and made you guys lunch. And then we're just going to go sit up on a cliff and eat it, and then I'll pour you a bunch of whiskey. And we're like, cool. So that paints a little picture of how small and amazing and cute and quaint this island is. Because this woman literally made us sandwiches earlier that morning, wrapped them in cellophane herself, packed them in a little backpack with like an orange and some crackers and some cookies in there. she like gave them to us, and we hiked up the side of this mountain and sat on this cliff and overlooked the distillery and the ocean and saw a fishing boat. And she's like, "That's my husband out there right on that boat." I'm like, "I'm sure it is because 8 people live on this island." It was so cool. It was supposed to be like a 1-hour tour. I swear we were there for like 3 hours. It was great. She was just telling us stories about life on the island and how the kids just kind of run free and they're feral and everyone knows each other and everyone looks out for each other. And most people there have 2 jobs, not because they need the money, but because you have to. That's the only way the island is going to survive, is if everyone works 2 jobs just to keep it a functioning town. It's not a city, tiny little town. And that was just really. It's so different, right? Like I live in the tourist capital of the world. It's just crowded everywhere you go here on the Strip. It's just people come from all over. It's a major metropolitan area. And so to go to such a remote little island was so refreshing, and it was very pleasant. I had a great time, and everyone there was so friendly. And yeah, we had just like the same taxi driver, Nigel, who just picked us up kind of whenever we needed him. We had a great time. Yeah, we did Ardbeg, Lagavulin, Lefroy, and Bruichladdich. I'd say Bruichladdich and Ardbeg were by far the best experiences. Lagavulin was fine, but it was a little more of like a scripted tour, right? Whereas the other ones felt more personal and more tailored to us, and just more friendly, and we could just like talk to the tour guide. Just like I said, we just sat on a cliff with Emma and just talked about random things. Whereas the Lagavulin was very much like, we go from A to B to C to D, and then you have your tasting and goodbye, which is fine. It was still fine. It's all fine. But yeah, and then the fun part we did to break up the month in Scotland was we went to Paris, for 3 days. We went to Paris for 3 days. And I don't know if you guys know this, but they speak French there. They speak French. Everything's in French. I showed up like, I can't read any of this. I go to a restaurant, they hand me a menu. I'm like, I can't read this. Someone would come up to me and say something. I'm like, I can't understand you. I'm not sure you guys know this, but they do French things in France. They're so French. And that was also just culture shock. Because again, we're like very used to the kind of UK lifestyle. Like we go to Dublin, the cities in Ireland, and we go to London pretty often, and now Scotland, and they all kind of have a similar vibe, I guess, kind of similar way of life. Don't get mad at me if you think I'm just saying you're all the same. You're not. They're all very different. London is very different from Ireland. Ireland is very different from Scotland, but they're not Paris, is what I'm saying. Paris is just like radically different. We did 3 full days in Paris, and 2 would have been enough. We saw the sights. We saw the Eiffel Tower. We climbed the Arc de Triomphe. We saw the Louvre. We went to the Louvre, the triangle pyramid looking thing. I'm like, we got one of those. We got one of those in Vegas. Saw the Eiffel Tower. I'm like, we got one of those too. We got all this. We literally have a casino here called Paris. They don't speak French there. But had a good time. But by the 3rd day, I was like, I think I'm done with Paris. I think I've done it. I don't mean to be rude in any way, but let me tell you, the subway in Paris was the smelliest subway I've ever been on in my life. Every time we got on that thing, I'm like, I gotta hold my breath. I'm not saying the Paris people are stinky. Maybe it's just the city itself, but damn, that's a stench. That is a stench that I will remember for all of my days. Hold on, I'm out of time. I'm just kind of rambling. We're getting close. Here. But it was so funny when we came home from Scotland because Kevin doesn't normally talk. Girl Kevin never shuts up. But boy Kevin, he doesn't really talk that much. He only talks when he really has something to tell you right now. Girl Kevin will just squawk all day. She's basically, I call her the seagull because she just just kind of all day. Kevin, on the other hand, has the most off-putting meow I've ever heard in my life. He he croaks sort of like a frog. Like he meows like that. And I'm like, stop. Dude, you sound like a chain smoker. But when we came home from Scotland, this cat that usually doesn't talk very much, dude, he talks so much. He came up to us just like, meow, 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 meow. And I'm like, buddy, whoa. I think he missed us. Oh, I think he missed us. Which is great, because usually when we leave on little trips, he kind of comes out from under the bed and he's just like, oh, I didn't even know you guys were gone. Cool. But I think he definitely missed us, and Riley lost her mind. Riley was like, and just like had a total doggy meltdown. But yeah, I don't think I'll be traveling again for a really long time. But let me tell you, that was, it was such an amazing trip. I forgot that in the middle of it, we went to a little seaside town called Oban, which if you're a Scotch drinker, whiskey drinker, you know Oban. It's a very popular Scotch. And that distillery is kind of in the center of that little coastal town. But again, that had a totally different feel than everything else. And we went on a little boat tour and we saw dolphins and whales. And it was just magical, except for on the way back, it started raining like a whole bunch. And then it wasn't so magical because we were really covered in water and didn't like that at all. And my shoes were squishy and I didn't like that. But the rest of the boat trip was so cool. And we did so much walking and we did so much drinking. And everyone we met in Scotland was so friendly. So friendly. I'd really say there's like only maybe one person who was rude to us the whole trip. And of course, that was in Paris. Shocker. Somebody in Paris was rude to us. Yeah, big shocker. But no, I cannot recommend traveling enough. Our friends Dan and Kat just left the country for the first time. I think it was Kat's first time out of the country. But they went to Ireland because Kat has like really, really deep roots there in Ireland, and she was able to like visit her old family's lighthouse. Like her family like owned a lighthouse like a bazillion years ago, and she was able to like go there, and again on like a tiny little, remote island or like wherever they were, Clare Island or something like that. Yeah, just like way out in the middle of nowhere, island where like 12 people live, and she got to like visit it. And there's just so much history over there that we don't have here because we're such a young country. And for the longest time, I didn't travel at all. In fact, I was really scared of traveling because, I don't want to throw her under the bus and say anything mean, but my mom was not a big fan of traveling. Growing up, my mom kind of always had me really scared of traveling, just always telling me how dangerous it was, and you're gonna get kidnapped, and just the whole thing. And so I was always really scared to travel. And it wasn't until I met Sean, who had been a flight attendant for a short amount of time, that he was like, no, like traveling's great, like you need to do it. And I'm like, what? And so I really don't think I would have ever left the country if it hadn't been for Sean, like kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone. And now I just love it so much. Now we try to get out of the country at least once a year. And what is that quote? That traveling is the antithesis of prejudice? Is that? I think I'm butchering that quote. But like, just meeting people from different walks of life who live life differently than you, and who put their light switches outside of the rooms where the lights are. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do you do this? London does this, Dublin does this, Glasgow and Edinburgh do this. Why? I'm telling you, if you're in a room and you want to turn the light on, the light switch, it's not going to be in that room. You're in the bathroom, you want to turn the light on? Cool, light switch, it's down the hall. You got to walk 10 feet to turn the light switch on, then you can use it in the bathroom. I don't understand this. There's no outlets in the bathrooms. Why are there no outlets in the bathrooms? There's only ever one outlet in the bathroom, and it's for a shaver, because that's different plug, apparently. Why? Why are there no outlets in the bathrooms? Why is the light switch down the hall? I don't understand. And why are the bagpipes so loud? I've just summed up my entire trip for you. Anyway, guys, I'm so happy to be back, and I feel a little rusty, honestly. I haven't done this podcast in a while, and I'm all over the place with my storytelling today, but that's just kind of me in general. But yeah, I'll get back in the swing of things. I got some fun content coming up, and one more big surprise. I know my big surprise today was that now I'm part of a podcast network, and I'm with Rogue Media, and they're incredible, and I can't wait to really get working with them. And Tempe has a home. Yay! Tempe has a home. I'm so happy. I'm so thankful. And like I said, one more big announcement, and we'll get rolling with more content. I had my good social media break. I had my good just month away from it all, but now I'm ready to work. Let's go. Love you guys. That was my bagpipes version of All Star by Smash Mouth.